Do the rich know something that you don't? Is the real estate market going to crash? Is the stock market crash going to continue? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, and unfortunately I don't have the answers for you, but I am going to give you a little bit of perspective on some things that you should look at as far as what the rich are doing to insulate themselves against the current stock market crash, as well as the potential recession that is coming over the next couple of months, or possibly even over the next year or two. I've been seeing some things in our local real estate market that might indicate that the rich are taking precautionary measures to insulate them against the current state of the market. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So if this is your first time to the channel, I want to welcome you here. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back. I'm happy to have you here. I'm going to be talking about some of these things that I'm seeing in our local real estate market that might indicate that the rich are taking certain measures to insulate themselves against what's happening in our economy today. There's a lot of turmoil and the uncertainty is changing from day to day. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are concerned about where this is going to lead us in the coming months. I'm one of those people. I don't know where this is going to go. I'm just a little bit concerned that this whole outbreak that we're facing is actually going to be worse for the economy than it is for people's lives. You know, there's a lot of things happening that will completely ruin people's lives. You know, this is going to lead to bankruptcies. This is going to lead to lost jobs, lost homes, lost businesses. And unfortunately, a lot of those things will also lead to other problems in our society, including drug and alcohol abuse, violence, domestic violence, increased criminals, suicide. There's going to be a lot of things that come from that. And it's the unfortunate situation that we're currently facing. So I don't want to downplay the seriousness of this outbreak. I'm just overall concerned for what's going to happen to everybody as a whole from this entire situation. You know, it's one of those things that I wish we could just avoid altogether, but unfortunately we're not able to. So we need to talk about it. We need to prepare. And I'm going to give you 3 things that you should be doing right now to prepare yourself. And these are things that I see the rich people in our communities doing that are going to help them not only survive this economic crash that we're in, but also take advantage of these opportunities that are coming so that they can get to that next level with their wealth and they're going to continue to be okay. Guys, this is the exact thing that continues to divide the current wealth gap that we have. You know, there's people who have money that are smart and are taking measures to prepare themselves for these, hard times, and they're going to be able to take advantage of those opportunities and actually get ahead. This is what allows them to get further ahead this way. Unfortunately, on the other side, you've got people who don't get ready, who don't take action, who don't set aside money for times just like this in order to invest it and take advantage of the lower prices in everything from the stock market to real estate. So unfortunately, that's what causes them to go backwards and go the other direction. So if you're in the middle, if you want to go this way, then definitely listen to what I'm going to have to say. Watch till the end, and I'd love to hear what you guys are doing to prepare for this situation yourself, to not only protect yourself and your family, but to take advantage of these opportunities that are coming, to invest in the market, to get more educated, and to take those financial moves that are going to help you get ahead. I want to know, so drop a comment below and let's jump into it. So as you may or may not know, my day job here is as a real estate agent. So I have an inside look as to what's happening here in our local real estate market. This means that I have the ability to see what types of listings are coming onto the market, and I see these fluctuations. As I work with different people in different price ranges all throughout my local area, I get a good sense of what properties are coming onto the market and what those average prices are. Currently, I've been seeing a lot of high-end listings hitting the market. Just last week, I saw a huge uptick in the number of properties that were listed between $1 and $2 million. Now, of course, some of you might be saying, oh, this is just coincidence. And yeah, that could be true because we do typically see that these higher end properties do get listed and then sold typically during the spring, summer, and fall months. Because here in Utah, we do have winter, it gets snowy and it's cold. Not a lot of people want to move during that time. And typically the people that are in the luxury market have the flexibility to kind of buy and sell whenever they want to. So they do usually wait until the spring and summer months, and we've had warmer weather these last couple weeks, so perhaps that's the reason why they're listing. I don't know. I think that probably a majority of it is because of that, but I do think that there's probably at least 10 to 30% of the market who are listing right now because they want to get their home on the market and get it sold before this potential recession comes. You know, typically during recessions, this is the time that new construction gets hit. This is the time that multifamily gets hit. This is the time that luxury gets hit. So these people who own these luxury homes want to get their home on the market and get it sold, because if we do move into a real estate recession here in the next couple months, they're going to be the ones that get hit the hardest. I've also had a big uptick in the number of clients that I've worked with who are reaching out saying, hey, what's going on? Is the real estate market, going to go down? Is it going to go up? Where are we at with this whole situation? And I've got a lot of people asking, is now the time to sell? Now, of course, I don't have that crystal ball, so I can't necessarily say one way or the other. But of course, it's that old cliche that real estate agents are always going to tell you, hey,
it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell.
They're going to tell you that no matter what market it is. It's just one of those old jokes. And unfortunately, it's kind of terrible. So I'm not going to be that guy. Of course, there's always pros and cons to buying or selling in any market. It really comes down to your particular situation and what makes the most sense for you. Unless you're already in the market, now's probably the time where you should bunker down and make sure that you're in a safe, secure position to get through the situation that we're currently in. But that also doesn't mean that you should just sit on the sidelines and not get ready to take advantage of these coming opportunities that we have. So that's all I'm going to say on that issue. I want to talk about 3 things that you can be doing to prepare, just like the rich are doing or have done in the past, that will set you up to be able to take advantage of the coming opportunities, because there are going to be opportunities, and now could be the time that you can really catapult yourself ahead financially and get to a really good spot. So let's jump into it. All right, so number 1 on our list, you might have already been doing because you've been cooped up in the house, or maybe you haven't been able to work, and that is to reduce your expenses and also watch the market closely. I'm talking about the stock market. I'm talking about what's going on in the world. You want to pay attention because this situation is changing day by day. This is not typical of most economic situations. Of course, there's been times in history when the market has, made drastic changes in a short amount of time, but usually not this quickly. This is kind of one of those rare events that only happens every so often, when the market can be way up one day, it can be way down the next day. Things can look really good one day, and then the next day it looks like the world is going to end. So this is one of those things you really want to kind of pay attention to what's happening day by day, but don't get involved with the hype that's out there. What I mean by that is pay attention to how things are progressing, but don't necessarily look at it day by day as to how bad things are getting. You want to make sure that you kind of have a good measure and take things always with a grain of salt, and always look at the opposite side of what's being reported or what information you're getting. What I mean by this is, there's going to be a lot of reports coming out about how many people are, currently infected with this current situation that we're facing. And what that's going to say is, there was a 300% increase. Well, yeah, that's because more people are getting tested. More testing kits are available. This doesn't really put into perspective how many people had it, or, if this number is based off of 10 people who've been in a bad situation, then that could mean, a 300% increase could now mean 30 people. When you're talking about millions or billions of people across the world, of course, these numbers are going to get skewed. So just kind of pay attention to this, put things into perspective, and always look at the opposite side of what's being reported and that information that you're bringing in, so that you can get a good outlook on what is actually happening and make your own sense of the situation. This is important because it's up to you to decide what type of situation we're going to be in and what measures you're going to take to protect yourself and also take advantage of these opportunities. Now's the time to also pay attention to what the wealthy people are doing. A good and easy way to do this is look at what billionaires are doing. Look at what the rich people are doing in these situations. Look at what's happening to the bond market, the stock market, to real estate, to different companies. Well, how are things shifting in this manner? Look at what stocks billionaires are buying, for instance, or even just rich people. Kind of pay attention to what stocks are getting invested in, because this could be a good indicator of where you should also put your money. Now, I do want to mention this just right here, because I know that somebody's going to say, oh, well, you told me to do this. This is just a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research and make sure you make these investments based on your own knowledge and at your own risk. This is just something that I would recommend because, let's be honest, a lot of us don't know or don't have the time or the experience or even the knowledge to look way in depth into these different types of companies to know what is a good investment or not. Let the people who have the knowledge, who have the money and the experience do that for you, and possibly follow after them. This is something that I think is a powerful move, and you kind of want to act and play like the big dogs are doing to get in a position that's going to be similar to them. And that leads me right into number 2, which is to think about what type of opportunities are going to be coming. There's going to be opportunities that come onto the market. Unfortunately, there's going to be restaurants that go out of business. There's going to be gas stations that go out of business. There's going to be car rental companies and airlines and all of these different industries who have businesses that are going to go out of business. What that means for you is that there could be an opportunity, no matter how big or how small, that you could take advantage of, even if that means investing in the stock market, or it could mean going out there and building your own business in one of these industries, or taking over where somebody else was and perhaps doing a better job. This is going to lower the competition that you would have been facing 6 months ago and could give you a better opportunity to take advantage of the current economic situation that we're going to be in after all of this is over. There's also going to be a ton of real estate deals that pop up onto the market. Now is the time when second homes get listed. Now is the time when rental properties get listed. Now is the time when people who have made risky decisions on their home are going to get listed, or these people are going to get into trouble and need to sell quickly. This is an investor's dream because there's going to be a lot of people out there who need our help and need somebody to step in and help them out of that situation. This is also going to be the chance for you to pick up a couple of rental properties, whether it's subject to or on a lease option, or even just at a high enough margin where you can flip it or turn it into a rental and be sitting on a deal with good equity in it so that you don't end up in the same situation. So make sure you look out for these opportunities, get educated on how to take advantage of them, and be ready for them. Start looking for them, start networking, start doing what you need to get in front of them so that you're ready to pull the trigger. And that's what number 3 is. Pull the trigger when the time comes. This is what the rich people are going to do. I think it's easy for a lot of us to sit on the sidelines and say, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. Even say, oh man, I wish it was back in 2008 when the market crashed. I would have invested all my money into the stock market. Yet a lot of us didn't. A lot of us weren't around during that time. A lot of us have been wishing for that moment to come, and this is probably our time for that to happen. So you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to put your money on the line, put your word on the line, and actually take action when these times come. There's going to be fear. There's going to be times where you're not sure if it's a good deal. So that's why you need to make an educated decision, run the numbers, make sure that it makes sense for you, and then pull the trigger. It can be scary, but you're always going to miss 100% of the shots that you never take. And this is a prime example of that. At the very least, just be prepared to jump back into the market, whether it's the stock market or the real estate market, with whatever funds you have possible. When you see things that kind of start to turn around, as things start looking better, that is going to be the time when you definitely want to jump into it. I'm not saying time the bottom of the market. I'm just saying, put some money into it and be prepared to hold on to that for the long term. Be prepared to cash out in a couple of years, and you'll most likely be okay. So if you're a real estate agent or a real estate investor, I want to know what's going on in your market. Drop a comment down below. I want to know your thoughts as to, are more luxury properties getting listed? Is it just because of the time of year, or is it something else? What's going on in your market? Please comment below. I'd like to get a good sense of what's going on nationally with this and how things are going to change over the coming months and over this entire year of 2020. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this content. It lets me know that you like what I'm putting out here, and I will see you in the next one.